Hi, this is Paul Inselman. I hope that this video finds you safe and well as we now enter the final stages, hopefully, of COVID-19. Wow, what a 6 weeks it has been. I'll tell you, I've been doing business development for 17 years, and my phone has literally been ringing day and night and day, and I'm not exaggerating, for the past 6 weeks. Fortunately, we've been able to put a lot of folks back on track. We've saved a lot of people's businesses, thank God, and people have a plan and they feel more secure. So I wanted to go over with you a couple of things on the reopening of the economy. Right now it's May 21st, and all 50 states in some capacity have reopened, and that will get more and more as the days and weeks go by. There are two scenarios that I see. One scenario is that the economy continues to reopen and stays open, and we'll go over different things if that scenario happens. And the other scenario, which I hope does not take place, is that we see a significant uptick in cases and they shut the economy down again. Let's talk about the first case, which is what I truly believe will happen. I believe that the states will continue to reopen. I believe that there will be an uptick in cases, but I also believe that the states will ignore those upticks, give the local ordinances more power, and basically request more social distancing, etc. And bottom line, businesses will be allowed to stay open. Now, my crystal ball could be 100% wrong. If that scenario is correct, then there is a tremendous amount of opportunity. There's opportunity because every crisis gives opportunity. The greatest number of millionaires in the history of the country were actually created during the Great Depression, and I have no doubt that this crisis will create even more than during the Great Depression. Why is that? You see, money is matter, and you can't destroy money and you can't destroy matter. You can only change its form. And let me give you an example. If you speak to the limousine driver, he is going broke. If you speak to the florist, they're going broke also. Well, 3 or 4 weeks ago, my neighbor's mom passed away, and we all attended her funeral via Zoom. So watch what happens. The limousine driver did not get to drive the 27 people to the cemetery. Those 27 people did not get to go to the florist to pick up a flower to drop on the casket. And therefore, those industries are quote-unquote going broke. But all 27 people picked up a subscription to Zoom. So if you speak to Zoom and look at their stock, it's zooming. And those people ordered flowers online. So the opportunity is, if you realize the shift in thinking, the shift in habits, there is a tremendous amount of opportunity, and I'll outline it for different professions as I see it. So now, what happens? The economy reopens, and there are going to be 3 types of people. They're going to be the people that just jump right out, and those are the ones that you're seeing now. That's why your business has had an uptick probably in the last week or two. Then there's going to be a second type of person. That type of person is going to be cautious. They may have a loved one at home, or they may have some health problems themselves, and they're going to kind of watch and wait and see what happens to that first group. If the first group doesn't blow up, then that second group will enter society. And then there's a third group, and they're people with chronic illness like COPD or asthma or whatnot, and they just don't want to come out, no way, no how, unless there's a catastrophe. So let's talk about ramping up and getting your customers, your clients, your patients back to your respective businesses. So let me use an example of a chiropractor. So let's say that before the virus, a chiropractor had 100 viable people that can utilize his or her services. Well, since this crisis has come, now the first group to reemerge, let's say that it's going to be only 60 people. So those 60 people will jump back into your office. Now there are 40 people left that still have the ability to come, but they're not coming just yet. They're broken up into those 2 camps. Into the people that are just waiting to see what happens with the first wave, and people who are just not leaving unless there's a catastrophe. Your marketing efforts have to do 2 things. Number 1, you have to have the correct message, and to get the correct message, you need to create a market dominating position. and you need to increase the frequency of your marketing to that second and third group. Understand that third group is probably not coming, but the second group, if you can educate them why your office is safe and why everything is okay, they will in fact possibly merge out earlier if they have a need. So the two things that you want to do right now are, number one, to continue to conserve cash. Number two, to increase the frequency of your marketing, and most importantly, to check your message to make sure that you're pivoting properly based on your market dominating position. Another example. Let's say that you are a home builder. And here's where we talk about opportunities. So I kind of want to meld these two. There is tremendous, tremendous opportunity out there as a result of this crisis. Now, I understand a lot of small businesses are hurting, and a lot of small businesses have literally closed their doors for good, and my heart seriously goes out to each and every one. But again, there is opportunity. And let me give you an example of a home builder. So people are leaving big cities like Manhattan and Chicago in droves, and they're going to the suburbs. Why? Well, first off, they feel that this is not the last of these types of crises, and I agree with them. I believe that there'll be others in the future. And they don't want to get locked down in a 700 square foot apartment again. They've also found out that they can run their companies and their employees can work from home. So there's really no need for them to be in the city. As a matter of fact, I had read something on had seen something on CNBC that was talking about the vacancies of commercial space in cities like Manhattan is going to be unparalleled. That companies like the JP Morgans of the world, the Wells Fargos of the world that take up tremendous office space, they're not going to need it anymore. So now what's happening is, because these people are leaving the city in droves, they're going to the suburbs. So if you're a home builder in the suburbs, oh boy, is there opportunity there for you. Chiropractors, for example. I think there's no better time to be a chiropractor. If you understand how to pivot properly based on the current crisis, wow, is your practice in for a huge, huge uptick if you market it properly. Okay, let's take a look at the second scenario. The second scenario would not be pretty. The second scenario would be that there's a tremendous uptick in COVID cases as the economy reopens, which causes the government to say, okay, adios, we are shutting down. That's a problem. It's a big problem for a couple of reasons. Number one, the economy is already super stressed. Unemployment is at tremendously high figures in the history. I think we've exceeded depression level era. Be that as it may, whatever the numbers are, there are a lot of people out of work. And if we have to close this economy down again, I am really scared and sorry to say that many, many businesses will not survive. So you have to protect yourself against that possibility. And in order to do that, number one, you have to stockpile cash. You see, in any crisis, cash is king. For many of you that I consulted, one of the first things that we did was we talked about how much cash do you have on hand. For those of you that had cash, I said to you, hey, you got no problem. This is going to go on for 2-3 months maybe. You'll be fine. It's not going to be pleasant. Nobody wants to take money out of their pocket, but you'll be fine. And the sigh of relief on the phone, hearing, from you guys that you knew that you were going to be fine was, tremendously uplifting to me. Now, we've learned cash is king. No ifs, no ands, no buts. So what you want to be doing is still being very conservative and stockpiling your cash. Number two, if the economy gets shut down again, it is imperative that you find, and you should have done this already, you should have found some way to earn during the crisis. If you did not find it during the crisis, you need to innovate and create something now to guard against that possibility. Okay, if you do those things, you will be fine. So let's talk about reopening. So your marketing has to increase in frequency to that second group that we talked about, and your marketing has to have the right message. We have a free marketing conversion tool, and you can click on the link somewhere in this email, and you can utilize that to see how effective your marketing is going to be. That would be the first place to start. The next place to start is to figure out if you want your business, your practice, or your industry to stay the same. In other words, if you want the same practice that you had before or the same business that you had before, do nothing differently with the exception of increasing the frequency of your marketing. If you see opportunity and you see that your business has the opportunity to expand and you want to capture that opportunity, then what you need to do is to create a new vision, and you need to create the processes and the architecture that's going to make that come to fruition. Then you need to create a new market dominating position, and you go from there. That's it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me. If there's anything that we could do to help you, that's what we're here for. Above all, keep yourself and keep your family safe. Thanks for listening. I will give you my next updates in either a written form or in a video. And I appreciate the loyalty and you're taking the time to read these newsletters and listen to these videos. If you have any suggestions for further videos or further emails, feel free to send those to me too. Be safe, be healthy, enjoy. The world's opening. I'm going to the beach. See ya.